And a very good early morning to you. Coming to you here from Basel, Switzerland with Curling Champions Tour live on Lola TV. We're here with the Swisscup in the quarterfinals. My name is Armin Harder, and I will be doing this quarterfinal game. And I hope we have a few listeners out there this early morning, or for the Dacey fans from Nova Scotia, late night, coming home from the Palace or the Misty Moon, watch a little curling. Today's quarterfinal match is against European champion Thomas Ulsrud from Norway. Against the Dacey team from Halifax, Nova Scotia, the Mayflower Curling Club. We're here in the first end. Lead rocks underway. Mark Dacey and his team qualifying through the B road yesterday early evening. Thomas Ulsrud having to take the long way against Brewster last night in the late game through the C road, eliminating the silver medalist, the World Championships, to qualify here for the quarterfinals.
Bytte på linje! Må kjøre nå. Japp! Kjør. Bare gå. Kjør. Nå går den. Nå drar den. Aldri av! Kom igjen. Jobb. Aldri av! Litt til nå. Kom igjen, for innsida. Kom igjen! Har du riktig, så? Måtte gå. Hæ? Vi måtte gå. Jeg har satt meg inn så veldig, så. Det holder for han setter seg inn, så setter han normalt. Yep! Hard! Whoa! Yeah! Hard! Whoa! No roll.
Well, also up early this morning. I'm very happy to see him here. Dan Raphael is going to join me for the...
Well, looks that way because my team's been eliminated, so...
To you? 0800 here in Basel. And what does the O stand for? Oh my God, it's early. Those Robin Williams fans out there.
Yeah. So what did I miss?
We're into seconds rocks here in the first end.
So thank you to all the people that sent me emails yesterday. Yes, I did. I can't hear you. A little bit of technical problems here.
Line's good. Yep. Early. Hard line.
So,
hard line.
Nice drizzly morning.
Yes, it's warm and wet out there, which could affect the game a little bit later on. Frost coming in the side a bit.
Mm-hmm.
It is an old building. It's 40 years old.
Yeah, but I'm sure the ice maker will take care of that.
Well, can't keep the frost off the ice during the game. That's unfortunate. We have no effect on that. The crew was out here working early this morning. Let me sleep in this morning so I could do these games.
What'd you get?
And it'll just affect out, maybe out in the 12-foot area a little bit. It shouldn't be too bad though. It is a hole here in Basel region, and Europe tends to be a little warmer than Canada this time of year. The leaves are all turned. Big swing here, just touching his own guard, moving it off the center.
Just going to make that comment. Looks like it's curling quite a bit this morning.
Like that? Or you want to straw around?
Like I said earlier, Mark Dacey having a little bit easier qualifying from the B, so he probably got a good night's rest last night. Ulsrud playing very late last night against Tom Brewster in the C Road.
Line's okay, room. You got
As
room.
we watch
T-line.
Tom Sullivan
Whoa. Whoa, whoa. Whoa.
playing his first or second rock here.
Hard, guys.
Dacey having the hammer in this end. Was pretty happy to see that split
Whoa.
mistake from Ulsrud team. Now able to place another rock in the house, but it looks like the double may be there.
Stop short of the other one. 60%. Hold, 2-0.
But I'd like to have had that just a little bit deeper in there.
Yeah.
Nogrod trying a double attempt here. Remove both those red rocks. It's one and gets the second one and rolls nicely behind the guard.
How far did he roll? We're about to find out, I guess.
Which one do you think?
How's the sound now? Is it good?
Yeah, it's perfect.
Yeah, perfect.
Even better than
Martin
last night.
Stuckey, our head producer, director, head technician here.
Not quite up to with his signals yet, but I'll
Looking a
figure them
little
out.
under the weather here, though, but had a long, tough weekend already. Lots of hours.
Whoa.
Doing a great job.
Whoa. Yeah. Whoa. Yeah. Yeah. Line only. Line only. Hard. You gotta
So
go.
as we
You
can
gotta
see,
go. You
the
gotta go. Harder. Whoa,
The
whoa, whoa.
Ulsrud stone is about half.
Great shot.
That's a great shot there.
Yeah.
Just slid a little too long, but it's perfectly buried behind that.
Well, it shows you how much curl there is going to the wings
Var det så glatt?
when you can curl around a stone that's half in the 12 foot
Coming in, they were yelling.
and probably come out the other side just a hair.
Ulsrud will try and follow that down and place one in just in front of it. Try generate his two. Or try steal one there. European champion. I was listening to your coverage last night with Al Moore, Swiss national trainer. We won't talk about the pants this morning.
I promised myself on the way here that I wouldn't even breathe the word.
No fashion talk this morning.
No,
There's a nice shot.
because I figure every time we say Ulsrud and pants, dollar signs are floating in the air. So
Yeah, they're not going into the further, but that's all right. Nice shot there from Ulsrud. Takes out that red counter. But did slip behind the tee line, so that'll allow Dacey to try the same shot again to generate 2 points here.
Actually, if you can picture these, I'll make another comment about the pants, and that'll be it after that.
Sure,
but,
I don't think it'll be the last one, but it's okay.
Was at the Vancouver Olympics where the owner of the company that actually makes these pants showed up with the full suit. So he had top and bottom.
I've seen Logan Gray in the full suit.
Well, I believe the entire Ulsrud team made a showing in Moscow at the
that's
banquet.
Right, they did, yeah, exactly.
With sort of matching shoes. So, as Al was saying yesterday, there's two shots in curling. There's the draw and there's the takeout. Well, you know what? Sometimes the draw is a takeout. So these freezes are basically just eliminating the point from actually scoring.
This is a great shot by Dacey here. This makes it tough for Ulsrud. You don't want to bump off that. Corner freeze would be perfect, but it's an extremely tough shot.
He's even looking at going to the other side.
Yeah, coming to the corner of that is going to be really tough. You have to just weld it to it, and that's you don't do that. Could end up giving up 3 if he doesn't make it perfect. So might just be better off thrown around the guard on the other side. They haven't played there yet, though. But
yeah, that's the problem with the little bounce that came off the yellow. Was it afforded Dacey to possibly, if there was a miss-freeze, so to speak, to eliminate both yellows, like you said, and get a 3 out of it.
He's going to try it. He's really got to get as much to the top of that rock, to the top of that red rock as possible, without bumping. He does have the advantage that he just threw down that path.
Well, this is the thing in these tournaments. You get a little bit of practice before the first game, but not much before anything else. So
we did practice before this round. They got 5-minute practice before this round each. So it's a little warm. Sweepers are straightening up here. It's a little wide and heavy. But he did nudge it. Oh. Yeah, he did move it off, so he's laying 1 and 2, Norway. Worked out for him, not too bad.
But can they actually squeeze that between the 2 yellows? I don't think so. Between the 2 reds, I should say.
The double's there, but he'll jam on the back red one. Make 2, but no more than that, I don't think.
Well, if he makes 3 out of this, we'll probably look at shot of the year.
I don't
so
think,
far.
I don't
Year's early.
Yeah, I don't think the 3's there, though.
Pretty firm.
Yeah, sometimes we say that and we're slightly amazed at what some of these guys can do.
But he's got to come at it with the intern, so it's going to come off that fairly flat, which means that yellow one should jam back on the red one. But it should give him his 2, though.
And of course, that's all what we always want to do when we have the hammer is score 2.
Absolutely. That missed that wreck on the center guard is now set this end up for Dacey.
It's the question I always ask my players when I first meet them. I say, were you good in math? I said, if you take 2 and give 1 every end, you should win.
It's looking pretty good. Got 1, got 2, and it's just enough to score 2 points for the Canadian team.
He's lucky he didn't hit any less of that. He might have spun up and kicked the red sideways and only got 1 out of it.
Maybe you can see that again on the replay. Maybe not.
It's coming.
There we go. That's about the best he could do with that shot. And the Mayflower team from Halifax, Nova Scotia. Scores 2 here in the quarterfinal. Swisscup in Basel, Switzerland. It's early morning here in Switzerland.
Hi, Gert.
Have you been to Halifax?
I have, briefly.
I spent 3 years there. It's one of my favorite places in the world.
But I did learn some history about the Mayflower this year that I never knew about. I was watching a documentary on the Titanic. Of course, it was the anniversary of the sinking of the Titanic.
Yeah.
And apparently when the bodies were coming into Nova Scotia,
them in the
the biggest place they could find that could keep the bodies cold were the curling club. So they put them in the Mayflower. But I believe it was the old building. The Mayflower that now exists is not the same one.
Oh, so it was early 1900s? Or early, 1900s? What was that?
Oh, don't ask me about dates. Not this early.
They just had an anniversary, I think. There is a cemetery downtown in Halifax, too, that has a lot of...
100. I think it was 100th anniversary
Yeah, 100th.
of the sinking.
Yeah.
Yeah. So do the math.
So, yeah. Score 2.
Score 2.
So it'll be like 3:30 in the morning in Halifax, so I'm sure the hardcore Dacey fans might be watching.
And of course, they'll be sending emails. Are we doing emails? I think we
we
asked that
could do
question.
emails this morning too. Yeah. We'll give you that email address shortly.
Because that's the good thing
Flash it
about
up on the
this
screen.
technology is somebody will always correct you if you're wrong.
Which we're more than welcome to do. That's
It's part of the game.
6, 7. Plass, 8. 7. 6, 7. 6, 7. 8.
So there we see an intern come around. And as we spoke about earlier, the curl, a lot of curl there, and I'd say probably 2/3 of that stone came out of the other side. But Dacey's just going to peel the guard, and having one already set in the 4-foot behind center guard, just going to peel the guard and see what Ulsrud does after that.
So, questions, comments? We'd love to hear from you. Love to see who's awake this early in the morning. Live at curlingchampionstour.org, sponsored by Ice King. And we'd love to hear from you. We'd love to hear just to see if there's anybody out there awake this early in the morning.
Is there anybody listening? So having peeled the corner guard, now Ulsrud, I think, is attempting to come around and freezing the rock in the 4-foot, or maybe even just tapping it back. Didn't quite get the signal there. Of course, if he does get around, taps it out into the open, then Dacey will have to make some decisions as to what to do. I'm not sure if that's what they wanted, but now Dacey will have to deal with the second part of his plan, which was if he opened up the corner, then just hit. It's just checking to see where he wants to roll to.
Soft weight to do that.
I guess he beat me to the
Better
punch.
just roll out, but
Depending on where he wants to roll to will dictate the placement of the broom and the speed.
bumper, lots of ice.
Tight for normal up on the intern. If I roll out, I'm rolling this way.
Of course, if you throw a higher speed and hit less of the rock, you will roll out. That's a given.
Yeah.
So he's thinking maybe hack weight, bumper weight, so he can roll underneath the stone that's already in the forefoot.
Yep. Yep. Whoa. Yes. Hard. Whoa. 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 Close. Yep. Hard. Whoa. Right up. That's good.
It's not bad for Mark. Rolled over just beside it. Of course, if Ulsrud did attempt some kind of a double, he would roll out.
I knew it was going to go nuts. Yep. Sweet. Yep.
So Ulsrud will call a freeze attempt here and try to nestle his stone. Looks like they're probably changed their mind a little bit, and they're kind of hoping to cross the face and roll on top of the Dacey stone.
Yeah, okay. Lots of ice. Roll out, not bad.
So we're now back to square one. Dacey will attempt to hit this. Really doesn't want to set up anything where they give Ulsrud an opportunity to double out the one in the forefoot. It's already in a good position, and
Down normal.
of course already forcing
Yep. Whoa, whoa. Yep. Whoa, 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 whoa.
forcing Ulsrud to take his one.
Sorry. Nose hit was really good.
Måste börja Malikar då.
Ulsrud now having to figure out, he's running out of rocks a little bit. So he's got to figure, even if he plays the freeze, then maybe Dacey will guard it. So he's going to attempt a run back. That'll get rid of the guard, hopefully, and the one in the forefoot, and leave them something in play in the house. But looks a little bit wide.
Okay. Feel it?
So Dacey being up by 2 points, will just be content with peeling this stone out and not really worrying about Ulsrud getting his two.
Yep. Good, good, good.
So they'll probably end up blanking this end. Getting a little ahead of myself, but looks like they're just gonna hit this one out.
Get up. Yeah. Then. Yep. Yeah, well, no. Yep. Yep. Tricky.
And a nice roll there. Of course, anytime you force the opposition
Come into it.
to the extremities of the house, makes the takeout a little more difficult.
Yeah, with the big swing here.
Mm-hmm.
Throw big
Taking
weight.
this from inside out. We have a divider right between sheets 3 and 5. There's quite a big difference between the two sides of this rink. So the divider's there to There's actually the ice is on 2 different levels out there.
I was going to ask you, what's the purpose of the divider?
The sheets 4 and 5 are a lot lower than sheets 1, 2, and 3. The floor is not level here. So
You see there, one of the reasons that I don't like players leaving their equipment on the sides of the sheet. And there was a gripper there right near the divider, which the sweeper could very well have tripped over on the way by.
we see Ulsrud taking this from the other side now, intern side.
Yeah, they tend to throw it a little differently. Force them to keep it a lot straighter. There's that gripper again.
Players are very aware what's on the ice, though. It's instinct.
And of course, they'll let you know what's out there that shouldn't be there.
Absolutely. Can we blend in that email address again? That would be very nice. There we are. Anybody up early this morning watching this game? Love to hear from you. I'd like to know where you're watching from. Any comments or questions? Live at curlingchampionstour.org. Presented by Ice King.
So I was wondering last night after the broadcast if people liked the combination. I know I got very familiar working with Brian. Apparently we were a popular duo.
The combination of commentators.
Yeah.
Yeah, Brian's a very good commentator. Usually have lots of fun with him. And it's always good fun to make fun of those Scots. Last night we had a Quebec British Columbia duo on, huh? You're at home in Quebec.
Almost the two extremes.
Al Moore, the national trainer for Switzerland. Been over here. This is his second full season over here.
Mm-hmm.
Al Moore been doing a great job with the Swiss teams. And Dan Raphael, no stranger to coaching. Coached the Chinese team at the Olympics in Vancouver.
I did.
Last year working.
Chinese, I was mainly doing the women
Women's.
in Vancouver.
And last year doing some work with the Italians.
Yeah,
And this
did
year
a couple of years with Italy, and now I'm in Prague.
in Prague. What a great city Prague is.
Yes, it is.
Working
And a great curling facility.
Yurchi Snittel, good solid team.
Mm-hmm. Ran into a little bit of problems on our second day.
You went to the A finals straight
yeah,
and then dropped
this
3
was
games
my
in a row.
first tournament with them.
Oh.
They had already played in Baden, but I was just arriving. And so this was the first tournament where I actually got to see them. And, you know, we did a lot of work before we got here and paid off in the first day. We went 3 straight and showed up the next day and had a total meltdown. And, you know, they're gone. And I'm sitting beside you.
Well, I'm glad of it in one way. Obviously, I've known Yurchi a long time. Pretty good ice maker in his own right.
Mm-hmm.
Done some work with him. And he's been knocking on the door for the last few years. Just hasn't quite made that breakthrough, and hopefully with your coaching.
They're a very good crew to work with.
Yeah.
Very attentive, very, willing to learn. I think my biggest amazement this year was when we did I have a sweeping drill where we do 30-second stints. And after the second 30 seconds, Jindrich, who was the second on the team, laid down on the backboard, and I thought he was having a heart attack, but he started doing crunches. And I looked at him and I said, my God, man. It was just amazing. I'm just looking at some of the scores for updates.
Well, maybe we'll go through them briefly, where we can check up on the other quarterfinal games very quickly here. In one quarterfinal, we got the German duo here. Johnny Yar's team. Johnny's not here for this game. He's playing Andreas Lang. So Hamburg against Füssen. And a steal of one for the Hamburg team in the second end. Puts him out 2-0. We have Eriksson from Sweden against Big Four in the first end against the young Swiss team. I think this is a bad start for this team, but I'm actually not surprised this Swiss team made it to the quarterfinals. They're a pretty good, solid team. I think they're one of the teams that'll be to watch. A little under the radar at the moment, but I think they're one team to watch for the next few years.
We played them in the A semis, and well, I guess we'll finish the scoreboards here, and
we'll go to the next one. This is our game. And then we got Sven Michel, probably the top Swiss team at the moment, playing against France. France had a long way to come into this quarterfinal and managed to hang on.
I coached Thomas in 2007, and he doesn't do anything easy, so for him it's the usual
this is actually
route.
their first qualifier in a while.
For Dufour?
Yeah.
I believe he did, he qualified in Oslo.
Did he? Okay.
Yes.
Well, so it's good. Bjorn, that's before quarterfinal games. Nothing happening on sheet 5. Back to our feature game here. We're here live in Basel, Switzerland. Actually, we're in Arlesheim, Switzerland, which is just outside of Basel. Small community. Very pretty community. We're here with the Swisscup Curling Champions Tour live on Lola TV. Lola 1 TV.
So to finish off my little story, we played the Swiss team of Freiberger.
Yes, Mario.
In the semis, and of course the incentive to win, because there's always incentive to win. We're playing a 10 p.m. game, so we're getting off the ice past midnight, or there so. And the loser was playing at 8:15. The winner was playing at 11. And the young team only made one mistake, and we took a 2 out of it. And you know, we're talking maybe half a foot more towards center line on a short guard, and you know, we're probably not even talking about it.
We saw another wreck here from the Ulsrud team. There's a bit more of a swing coming away from that bumper, or from that dividing side. So on the outturn on this sheet, you'll see a little more swing.
And of course, when you're putting up a guard and there's already one covering one half of the stone, you don't really need to get to the face. You want to be covering the other half of the stone, because you know, as long as you don't leave a port big enough to get through. But this definitely overcurled, and this is actually an easy shot with the amount of curl that they have.
Try to get on the inside of this.
So as you can see, with the soft weight, they were able to push it out and actually get to the nose. Another couple of centimeters, and he would have had the inside roll. It would have been really difficult for Dacey to remove it.
Still 3/4 open, so Dacey could do the same thing.
Who are we playing? Pat?
Ulsrud also struggling this weekend. Looking good at times and looking pretty bad at times.
Go hard!
Just not quite there.
Hard, guys!
It's still October. This is taken off completely.
But, wow.
Pick something or just threw the handle too soft. They will go on you if you throw it too soft to handle. Rocks are very aggressive.
No, I was laughing because in the game yesterday afternoon, we were on sheet 5 and they were on 1. And out of the corner of my eye, I saw them waving to the crowd as if they had just won the game or made some fantastic shot. But being the veteran team that they are, they just took this. It was a really bad loss, actually. But the fact that they had made a draw onto the pin to end the game, they just played up to the crowd a little bit. And
there's a good shot from Torgen.
Very nice.
That sure changes that end around. It was looking pretty good for Dacey a few rocks ago. All of a sudden he's chasing these guys. Trying to raise double takeout here.
Yeah. The new age shot, the run back.
Well, they seem to be making more and more of these all the time.
Yeah.
Saw some great ones this weekend.
Of course, a lot of teams make full practices out of them.
Yes! Yes!
Any kind of weight, you can keep these rocks fairly straight.
Oh my God.
This did curl a little bit.
Mark really not happy there. Unfortunately, we don't have a 5-second delay, so I guess we're going to have to enjoy some of the profanity this morning.
This is internet. Profanity and sports don't go together, do they?
No.
I've never swore in a game.
So this end starting to look really good for
Ulsrud. Throwing his last rock.
He is coming right in, but if it gets to the face of the other one, oh, there's
two great shots from Torger, Norwegian third, European champions.
Mark is in fine form this morning.
Hey.
Yeah, Mark was just not happy about something about that last shot. Well, you know what? This is one of these where you get one crack at it and that's it.
Got to freeze. Probably trying to freeze to that middle yellow one, I would think, here. Or is he trying the in off? Okay. Yeah, you're trying the in off here. Those yellows are set up really, really tough.
Yeah, there's not anything you can do except freeze to the top one, and that doesn't do him any good.
No, it doesn't do him any good.
So he's going to have one crack at this, and
big weight shot here, in off.
Kind of hoping he hits the middle yellow stone on the top half and kind of spin back up.
Mark Dacey, Mayflower Curling Club in Halifax. Not laying a broom to it. It's looked close. Great shot. Oh, it just slides in there. Look at that. But yellow's still laying 2, but he may have something else. Got one more rock.
Well, that's pretty well what he was looking at, but maybe with a little more force and move at least the back yellow.
He hit that rock fairly thick.
Yeah.
But
So you know what, now it unless Mr. Ulsrud comes up with a nice outturn, come around through the port.
can get to the button there.
And if he does that, even with the run back, I don't think Mark's going to have a whole lot to deal with. Those rocks are just in really good position for Ulsrud.
This end wasn't looking at all very good for Ulsrud. Second shots sure took a turn.
Hvis vi ikke legger den der, så kan vi legge opp
Dacey.
en dobbeltvariant. Det var ikke mye å stoppe på, det var mer å gå på dragningen dere.
Mark's team's traveled over here a couple of times. They've been in Baud and they've been in Bern over the years.
Jeg mener å bare prøve å få en 3, altså en pile.
Always nice to see Canadian teams coming over.
Enda mindre.
Europe certainly has better ice conditions than it had 10, 15 years ago. And the competition.
Better
certainly
teams.
Nothing wrong with the competition nowadays. Europe, I think the Champions Tour has done a lot to improve those teams, give them that competition they need close to home.
Well, I
It's
know,
expensive to travel to Canada.
yeah, but I know at one point the CCA actually requested that the top level teams make at least 2 trips out of country, and crossing the U.S. border didn't count.
This is not a good shot from Ulsrud. This does
Absolutely not.
This does give Dacey an out.
Huge mistake here. He was better off just throwing it through than doing that.
Yeah. Can't be happy with that at all.
So as I was saying, they were actually requesting that they made 2 trips.
Yeah, they were funding top teams to come over and play, but at probably about 7 or 8 years ago, there was only 1 or 2 tournaments that were really worth coming over for. Now we have 7 men's events that are pretty good.
Good tour. Good competition. Well organized.
Well, just hit the hole,
It's always
Tom.
a
Just
nice
hit the
trip
hole.
to Europe.
Don't even look at either guard. Hit the hole.
Well, I mean, the thing you have to look at also is, again, do the math. I mean, how many teams come out of Europe at the Worlds?
There's 7 of them.
Yeah. So, you know, that's well more than half.
You got to beat those teams.
You got to beat them
They're not easy walkovers. Not anymore.
Yeah, and if you don't see them, you know, there's a lot of European teams that do travel to Canada, but you're not going to see the amount that you're going to see if you play in one of these tournaments.
Dacey originally from Manitoba, I think. Played in
you're right.
from Manitoba. Did he not?
I think you're right, yeah.
This needs to curl a little more. Just not enough. Just a little too long, maybe.
Well, the good thing about it is I don't think Ulsrud can get to the inside of that. There's another guard out there.
There's a double.
There you go. Thank you very much.
I don't think he can double those out. You can't
And
get past that top yellow.
No. But the thing I was looking at is that roll that Mark just made prevents Ulsrud from counting 3.
Yeah, Mark didn't roll there. There'd be a 4 there, actually.
Yeah.
Ligger 2, men jeg tror ikke vi kan skade oss ved å prøve å
Really a soft tap here and try to move that red one out of the 4 foot. And just try and roll in enough to outcount that other red one.
I'm not really sure if that's there.
I don't think so either. Needs a helicopter to get to the button.
As I said earlier, the things that some of these guys can do.
Thomas Ulsrud, European champion, throwing his last rock here in the third end. Trying to score more than 2.
Weight looks really good. Starting to go.
He's get on the inside of that red one. Just doesn't quite, not quite enough.
No, there was just no room.
It would have been very difficult. Looks like 2 to me. So the game's all tied up after 3 ends here. Swisscup Basel. Live Curling Champions Tour coverage on Loyola 1 TV. My name is Armin Harder. I'm here with Dan Raphael. We're in the quarterfinals. Canada's team from Halifax, Nova Scotia. Mark Dacey against Thomas Ulsrud from Oslo, Norway. And if you have questions, comments, anything, live at curlingchampionstour.org, presented by Ice King. Love to hear. Anybody awake?
Some interesting developments on the other sheets.
Okay,
if
we'll
we
just
can
go through
do
the
an
scores
update.
rapidly. German duo. Andreas Lang against Johnny Yar's team from Hamburg. Minus Johnny Yar, he's not here at the moment. Big score of 3 for the Fussen team. Take a 3-2 lead.
I know he didn't give me ice, but I should have got it out.
And here we have Eriksson with a big 4 in the first end. Still controlling that game against Mario Freiberger. Team out of Zug, Switzerland. 4-1, and our featured game.
Tied up at 2.
And Sven Michel steals 3 in the third end against Thomas Dufour of France to take a 4-0 lead in this quarterfinal game. Michel having won Baden Masters 2 years in a row now. Good young solid team out of Switzerland. All Swiss teams very young now. All the veterans pretty well gone, except Bertemont's still around. Did quite well this weekend.
Yes, he did.
We got a
So Mr. Dufour will have a little bit of a climb to get back into this one.
We do have some early morning viewers, of course. Eviars from Team Gulbis in Riga. They're an hour ahead, so it's not that early for them.
Depends where they are.
He's in Riga, Latvia. Riga's an hour ahead.
Because I know the women's team is
they're in Canada,
right now with Brian.
Brian Gray, yeah. Lars, thanks for sending us your email, and we'll be looking forward to seeing you guys in Chambry. We'll be playing in Chambry at the
Chambry
Masters Champions Tour event there in about 2 weeks' time, or 3 weeks' time. And we'll be having coverage from there also. Lola, and the final will probably be showing on Swiss curling or Swiss sport television for our German Swiss viewers. So greetings out there to Riga. Now there's another beautiful city.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, the big event, Riga, coming up in March.
Women's Worlds.
Women's Worlds.
One of the reasons the women are in Canada training is they'll have their spot without having to qualify.
Bør ikke spille Alta egentlig for å få den til å gå sånn? Nei? Hvor mye skal treffe han da? Ganske tynn? Tynn som mulig.
Yes, Latvian men's team has taken some big steps in the last few years. They're really competitive. Really a solid team.
Yep.
Whoa! 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 Whoa!
Bra svar.
Feil stein først, tror jeg.
Det var riktig stein, det gikk alt for langt. Traff den gule først.
Good shot there to
Ikke så blir du liggende.
clear some of the front. He's getting a little crowded up there.
Hvis han hadde spilt Alta, hadde han ikke gått den veien etter treffet han? Tror det er noe.
I like it here.
Still running good out here.
Of course, the thrower and the sweepers discussing speed.
How's your weight?
Different tracks in the ice.
Whoa! Don't kill it!
Close, room.
Don't kill it! Whoa!
Room up.
Let it work!
Go around it.
Let it work!
Go around it.
Let it work!
Yep. Yep. Hard. Get past this other one. Hard. Hard. Go, go,
Go, Doc! Go, Doc!
Go, 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 go.
Lean on it!
Okay.
So, of course, the fact that it wasn't going to bury,
Vi har det.
they went to plan B and they wanted to actually draw around the one that's already in the house.
Haven't played much on that side of the
No.
sheet. I think the first three ends were all on the other side, so it may be a little bit slower in that side.
Okay.
So some of the viewers that may be wondering why they were yelling, "Don't kill it," I guess they were referring to the fact that if the sweepers start sweeping too early, they will just hang it straight and it will get nowhere near the spot that they want to get to.
Got a lot of movement at the end. These rocks.
So
Sorry. Sleeping back here.
And again, that center guard seems to be a bit of a problem for that Ulsrud team. That's the third time this game that
Spiste mennene som backa på elveveggen. Turte ikke å sette den på.
not
Christopher Svei has hit that guard.
bit of a mistake again.
In this case, it wasn't damaging to remove that guard, but it was in the first two times.
Not really familiar with Mark. I've seen him a few times, but just listening to him a bit this week, he reminds me a lot of, for those of you who follow poker,
Whoa, Tom!
reminds me of Daniel Negreanu. Just talks a lot. Of course, Daniel Negreanu being Canadian,
Okay.
one of the best Canadian poker players that ever come out of our country.
Don't follow much poker, so
I only follow it when there's no curling on, so.
that little spot right next to that rock that was just played there is a toonie in the ice.
Det er den klart letteste.
Hvis med en gang vi dobler her, så drar han andre siden, så er det ganske
So you guys are a lot more rich than most clubs. We just put a loony in.
This is Switzerland. Can't be cheap here.
Speaking of cheap, yesterday we were talking about sponsorship, and there we see in the back the Zoom Oxen,
Is that where you were
which
staying?
is my hotel.
You're staying there. That's a pretty good hotel here in downtown
It's
Arlesheim.
very nice if you ever come to Basel or Arlesheim. And I highly recommend it.
Okay.
They're taking good care of me. They're actually going to keep me for the duration of the week.
They didn't throw you out.
They didn't throw me out.
You're
I'll
here-
find out when I go back. My luggage might be in the parking lot, but
You're here, staying here, obviously, the rest of the week to coach the women's team
Yeah.
coming in for the Women's
Team
Masters,
of
which
Linda Klimova will be here next week.
that takes place here in Arlesheim, the women's event, the second one after Oslo. Curling Champions Tour, and we'll be showing live coverage on Saturday and Sunday from that event also. Looking forward to that. 24 of the top women's teams in the world. We got the European champion here, Aid Muirhead. We've got the world champion here, Miriam Ott from Switzerland.
We're high!
Way back!
We're high!
Way back! Whoa, whoa, whoa! Get him even! Yep,
Silver medalist from the Worlds also from Sweden. We got the program there. We could go through quick look at some of those names. It's certainly absolute top teams. Women are very competitive from
Oh,
Europe,
yeah.
obviously.
Of course, my plan is always to be up in the coaching booth, not the broadcasting booth, but
Sigurdsson, also here. Annette Norberg, Olympic champion, two-time Olympic champion. And I don't know how many worlds she's won.
Yep. Hard. Hard. Hard.
All the top Swiss women's teams. Russians.
nice double takeout there.
Sidorova's here. 3 Russian teams. Andrea Schopp also. So certainly
Recovered from her injuries.
Two feet deep.
Clean. Whoa, then. Whoa. Whoa. Let it move. Let it move.
So we also have
Leave it as high as you can.
Olga Zarkova
Leave it as high as you can. Make sure
coming
you're
back
in.
onto the scene. She played, I witnessed her team playing in Prague in the Colibris Cup. My memory serves me correctly, they won the women's section, or the women's playoff section, I should call it. The Italian team also here.
Thomas Ulsrud throwing his first skips rocks here in the 4th end. Trying to remove this red counter and roll over as close as possible to the other red one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Wants to get a roll, doesn't want to roll out.
Didn't really need it.
This will allow Dacey to throw one up to that side again. Trying to split the rings as far as possible and take his deuce in his head. Yeah, so we hope everyone will be looking in next weekend for the women's event here. Great competition, great teams, really good teams.
All the tour events, as I said earlier, very well organized. You know, you can come here and practically spend the day. We got the restaurant here.
Food's laid on for the teams.
Mhm.
Team. Top down.
Pretty well eat all day if you want, eh?
Yeah,
Clean. Yep.
but great viewing area for the spectators.
Whoa.
Lots of room up there. Actually got a comment last night about our bottle of wine.
You did.
Yes. And unfortunately this morning I'm going with the banana yogurt healthy stuff. Little early for wine, but one never knows.
Appreciate you guys just jumping in last night, doing the commentary. It was very entertaining. But thought the bottle of wine would help and loosen Al up a little bit so he could talk a little bit more. He doesn't talk that much usually.
Al was like shaking it after we had emptied. I said, well, I don't think there's another one coming, so.
I was long gone by then. Early mornings as an ice maker. Long days. So Ulsrud trying to, there's a double there. Pretty tough double. Good shot here of these curling rocks. K's of Scotland.
Oh, way out.
Yep. I heard an out there.
Everybody clear the sheet.
Kind of just threw it at it, didn't they? They didn't really.
Just laughing at some of the comments from the
Dacey team.
Dacey team.
I'm not shooting down the center line, man. I'm
Så som var litt sånn hvis du stivhallen var da, så var det jo backhand. He didn't know what's going on. Not enough weight.
Having a little chuckle out there.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think Ulsrud is not finding anything funny at this point.
One of the few backswings you'll see, if that's what you want to call that. It wasn't, not really backswing, it's just kind of lift it, setting down. Sweepers are backing up on this. Not a good sign.
Not really, but I think he's good to go.
Hasn't overthrown it, has
What'd
he?
you do to it?
That'll just hang on in the end there.
Yeah.
Score of 2 for the Mayflower team from Halifax, Nova Scotia, to take a 4-2 lead after 4 ends of play here at the Swisscup in Basel. Live Curling Champions Tour coverage on Lola 1 TV. I used to curl at the Mayflower for a few years when I was there.
Really?
I did. Back in the 80s.
1980s?
Middle to late 80s. If you have questions, live at curlingchampionstour.org. Comments, questions, or just send us a hello from wherever you are in the world. Lola 1 TV coverage is worldwide accessible, no geo-blocking, and no cost. Live at curlingchampionstour.org, presented by Ice King. Flower curl looks like 6 sheets there, huh?
I don't know. Want to go?
So to update you on that previous comment, Mayflower was founded in 1905.
And that would have been before the Titanic.
Yeah, and in 1912 the ice shed was used as a morgue for victims of the infamous Titanic sinking. And 5 years later, the club was destroyed in the devastating Halifax explosion.
Yes, that's right. Yep.
So,
Wiped out half the city.
yeah. So the Mayflower was rebuilt on Agricola Street, where it remained until moving to the present location on Monaghan Drive in 1962. And I would have been 1 year old. Do the math.
61, right? Yeah, is that your...
Gjerne, det er på 2.
What month are you?
November 16.
Foreløpig henger den i midten.
I'm older than that. 1 month.
Ja, dra den litt av senter nå.
Å, henger i senter.
I curled there from
Litt videre.
87 to 89 or 86 to 89, something like that, before I came to Europe.
I think I like right in. Yeah, gonna have to go the other turn though, because that's in the way.
Worked part-time at Cheers downtown.
Wow. Now there was a hangout.
the Liquor Dome.
Cheers.
Great times. I was young then.
You're still young.
Yeah.
Yep, all there. Whoa.
We're
Clean,
talking
yep,
in
hard on.
relativity to dinosaurs. But,
or Elmore.
or
Just make sure it's on the nose.
oh, the Elmore comments.
No, it's dying. Fuck's sakes.
Unfortunately.
He's probably upstairs watching his two teams.
Yeah. Unfortunately, in this day and age, we have to be careful because games are archived, and knowing Al the way I do, he'll probably listen to some of these comments later.
He'll just consider the source.
Yeah. So I just figured out what kind of day Dufour was having. I saw the one of the ice makers coming in for the pebble can, and I said, wow, one of the games must be over.
Oh, short work there, yeah.
Crazy.
And again, Norwegian team rubbing on the guard, just not getting past those guards. Lots of rubs there. It's costing them. Certainly has them on their heels.
Trying to figure out who is actually mic'd out there on the Dacey team.
I think they're all mic'd.
Yeah.
Could we have a quick review of the scoreboards? There has been a decision.
Mine's
We
good.
are taking one in the fourth here to
Easy. Whoa, it's gotta
even
move.
it up. I
Line's
think
good.
Felix Schultz
Line's
is actually
good.
skipping that team.
Whoa. Let it work.
See Sven Goldeman here from Hamburg. He's standing in the head. No, he seems to be skipping. Sven.
Get ready. No. Whoa! Yep.
And
Yep.
Freiberger
Yep. Good.
really giving up two here in the fourth end. Behind. Uphill battle there against Oscar Eriksson. Good solid team there from Sweden. That was young, very good team. Dacey Ulsrud and Sven Michel stealing another four in the fourth end. And that game's over.
You know, you talk about Switzerland having a lot of young teams and the veterans sort of moving on. Sweden's in a bit of the same situation, not quite as many teams, but you know, they have three really solid teams here.
Absolutely, yep. Ulsrud, Edin Hasselberg, and Oscar Eriksson. Good solid
And
team.
there was a while there after Lindholm hung up the shoes that they didn't really have anything going.
This looks like it's going to make it through. Oh, just rub that guard again. Unlucky for the Norwegian team. That looked like it was through. It's a little frustrating. You keep taking those guards time after time. Dacey having to think about where to put the next rock here. You don't want to get too much stuff in there.
I'm just gonna. Yeah. Det var ikke så godt skippa, faktisk.
So Sven Michel
Dragningen din gikk også jævlig rett
in the semifinal.
Nei, den ligger aldri for å gå inn gul.
Clean, yep.
That's all you want!
Hard early. Hard, guys. Gotta go.
Come on! You gotta go for line.
Gotta go right up.
You gotta go!
Whoa. Get ready.
Whoa!
Yep. Good. Good.
So for those of you who know me on the
Rønn inn den, og så prøv å
On the
få inn
coaching.
alle tre.
standpoint,
Altså,
you know, I'm a big proponent of communication on the ice, and the Dacey team there gave us a really good example of how you walk a rock down the ice. Just non-stop letting everybody know what they should be doing,
Yep.
what's going on.
Hard.
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 Hard on.
Shot.
Good shot here.
Bra spill.
Running the guard back. Removing the 2 stones out of the 4-foot.
To veldig bra, Stein. Beklager.
Now at least
Er veldig nære. Det er det.
Ulsrud will have a look at least half the button by the time he throws his last rock. Hopefully.
I guess if you keep hitting those guards all game, you might as well hit them right. Certainly worked out that time. Really good
Let's
shot.
see the replay. Great line call.
Sway almost getting all 3 of them out of the house. Yes. Thomas could have been a little more lively back there.
Yeah, well,
It's hard to go 2 ways, 3 ways in the same same time.
yeah, he figures there's enough bodies flying around there. Somebody will take care of it.
Top 8. Top 8. Come on.
Actually, only the skip is allowed to sweep behind the tee line,
Whoa, that's good.
opposing rocks. The tee line is that line that goes through the house. Nice draw there. That's really buried. Torger Nergard. An out-turn draw.
Full 4.
Foreløpig føles litt lang ut.
OK. Så vi går rundt.
9, 11,
8, 9.
Hvor langt godt skudd på?
7, 8.
11, helt vekk. 11, helt vekk. 11.
Nesten bedre å touche.
Hopp vi drar, hopp vi drar.
Hva har dere? 60. Hæ? 62.
Rønne inn ytterste gulv, da, hvis han legger i en midterste.
Wide only. Whoa. Room. Room. Line on its own.
No, not that deep.
Up.
Not that deep.
Up. 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 Up.
Don't bounce.
Yeah! Hard! Go, go, go! Hard! Gotta go, gotta go, gotta go!
Rønne gule.
Oh, that could have been good. We had to wait for that first move, though.
Hva med Rønne den røde? Kjapp!
Hvis du rønner gule, så blir den bakerste rød åpen.
Sitter veldig mye finere med å rønne den gule, da.
Hvis du rønner den gule, så ser vi den bakerste rød. Selv om vi bommer.
Da ser vi shotten.
Men da er jeg mer interessert i at du ikke bør bare spille en normalpil, da. Ikke kline til.
Du er elver.
Ja?
Litt mer.
Ulsrud trying to run back here on that yellow guard. Has to be careful here.
Whoa.
Dacey
Whoa.
set up for a steal.
Kjøl da. Fy faen.
Just didn't come up enough for him.
Of course, we talked about earlier some of the tour events here in Europe. And this weekend, there's 3 events in Canada. 1 minor one, 2 big ones. Of course, the West Coast Curling Classic in New Westminster, British Columbia on this weekend. And also in Toronto, the Stuchels Toronto Tankard. Top prize money, 45,000 Canadian. West Coast Curling Classic here down is having 52,000 in prize money. 2011 champion Kevin Martin.
Yeah, you're going deep enough. I like that. Just to make sure that we don't put that high one, though.
So Dacey here with a 4-2 lead, in a good position to steal one more. Of course, everybody's wondering about the intern crack at that stone. I think what Dacey is looking at is with the amount of curl in the ice, to be able to get at that with soft weight, to get at the shot stone with the soft weight, they would hit the yellow guard on the left. And of course, if you increase the speed, there's virtually no chance that you would stay in the 8-foot and count 2. So he's going to work on the outturn side.
Like clean.
Close.
Come down.
Again, good communication between the line colors and the sweepers.
Yeah! Hard! Right up! Right up! Right up! Right up! Right up!
I got this.
Came down hard, eh?
Nice rock there, but
Best å legge rett ved siden av, ikke sant?
much like billiards,
Ja.
you know, it used to be in curling, it was, you just had to make the shot, but now, with the ice conditions the way they are, the equipment is better, the players are definitely a lot better. Now, it's not what you make, it's what you leave, and unfortunately, Team Dacey has left a stone right at the back 4 that Ulsrud can come up and just freeze to. So not only will he be frozen, he'll be shot. I think he's kind of hoping here that he throws it better than frozen, which is a little bit shy of it, because if he does freeze to it, it might allow Team Dacey to freeze to it.
Should make a big move here now. Slowing down.
Yeah, so not really wanting to go back to. So now Dacey will just follow him down, and it will be a case of forcing him to 1 or stealing. And the way things were going with Team Ulsrud, I think he's actually happy with a shot like that.
Gotta generate some points here pretty quick, though. We're in the 5th end. Certainly doesn't want to give up a steal here.
I know one guy that's clawing his eyes out at this point is old Coach Otley, sitting upstairs, always critical of any miss.
Just do it. Just do it.
Otley's still kicking around.
Quite the character. He's a
Oh yeah, we have a lot
show up there in Norway.
lot of characters in the coaching fraternity.
Always certainly got all sorts of energy. Runs a tour event up there. Good looking shot here from Dacey.
Great shot.
Force Thomas to take one. All coaching his teams. Runs the tour events up there. Runs the junior tour event. Lots of involved in building new curling clubs. Certainly a driving force in Norwegian
Mr. Curling in Norway, yeah.
Ola Ingvaldsen.
It was funny to watch him yesterday. For those of you who are familiar with the facility here in Basel, when you curl downstairs, there's 5 sheets upstairs and 3 downstairs. Downstairs there's no real viewing area except on the side. And Ole
We're on the
being,
back bench.
yeah, Ole being Ole would travel outside to the away end and freeze for about 20 minutes, and then back inside to the other end. And every time he walked by, he would look at us and say, "I hate this place."
Thomas Ulsrud here in the fifth end with his last rock, trying to score one to stay in the game. Here in the quarterfinals, Swisscup Basel. Or did the guys oversweep it?
Oh, no, I think it's going to come right up to it. He's
Moving
fine.
pretty good at the end here. There he goes. Score of one for the Norwegian team. And it's 4-3 for Dacey from Halifax.
In that case, Thomas was just hoping that they wouldn't roll off.
Live from Arlesheim, Switzerland, just outside of Basel with the Swisscup Curling Champions Tour here on Lola 1 TV. My name is Armin Harder. I'm here with Dan Raphael,
We play that
coach of
stone.
the current teams. And this is the quarterfinals. It's about 9:30 on a Sunday morning.
So Team Ulsrud, they're discussing how they're going to go about playing this end. Of course, digging out the stones that they'll be using.
You heard one of Dacey's teams just making a comment about not having played that left side of that sheet very often. All the play's been on one side of the sheet, so the weight could be a little bit different on the other side. On this side, where Harvard Fat Pedersen is playing. Just trying to drag that over the hog line. As we see here, it was a little slower on that side.
Mm-hmm.
That guard can't get any much longer than that.
Han grodde seg mer enn jeg tenkte.
Så var litt før her.
Make it good, top four.
Han skulle gli en god meter over, liksom.
Whoa, guys.
Mellom 4-0
Whoa, short of the tee.
And of course, the other thing that
Full four, go. You
might
gotta go all
affect
the way
that
now.
side of the sheet a little bit is the fact that
Hard all the way, right to the full
the
four. Come on.
Dufour Mikel game ended quite a while ago. So there's 8 bodies less gone from that side.
And only 4 of the 5 sheets in use this morning.
Mm-hmm. Actually, 8 bodies gone, and they added a cameraman instead.
Linje, 3. Svan nærmest. Nei da. Svan nærmest. Nei.
Bare 2-3. 2.
Ja, da bare gå. Avstand.
Always well treated here in the broadcast booth. Wine last night, now nice hot coffee.
You're just
Much
being
appreciated.
spoiled here, Dan.
Yeah. Just waiting for the roast beef to roll out. Actually, I'm a little disappointed there's no Baileys in my coffee, but
Way out.
we'll have to work on that one.
Off if you can.
No, we got time to wait.
Off.
Yeah, we have time.
Off. Still got a curl
Again.
mile. Whoa, off.
Referring back to the communication, you heard the sweepers there letting Mark
Kommer opp og trykker den siste bak 10.
know exactly where that stone was going to stop.
Nede.
when I talk about communication, I don't talk about Mark yelling at the stone to stop. I mean, that's kind of a one-sided.
Discovered those rocks don't listen very
Yeah.
well many times.
Never seen a rock with ears, but
Well, Dacey's been on the offensive the whole game here. Ulsrud's chasing him the whole time, just not getting the rocks in the right position.
Jeg mener vi skal, det full, det som nå stjæler liksom. Da er vi enige om max backline, ikke sant?
Rock placement is everything.
Altså prøve det så godt det
You want to make it difficult for your opponent, and Dacey's certainly doing a good job against the Norwegians here. Dacey's team.
Yep. Hard.
Christopher Sway.
Wow! 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 Wow!
8.
11!
Wow.
9! 9!
Wow, linja kommer seg.
9! 1!
Wow. Yep. Yep. Hard. Hard.
It's looking pretty good.
Er det nok fart?
Perfekt.
So what do you do now in your Dacey? You got one on the button here, and the second one is sitting there, so they can be doubled out.
well, the problem being that
You don't get too many rocks into play either.
the two guards that are out front are
Ganske stor forskjell på koste og ikke koste også. Fordi Torger som har 60 stoppet
very good position. And to start peeling now, I think Dacey would be one, even 2 shots behind Team Ulsrud. So you heard him mention there that it's they just can't peel, so they might as well start guarding, but throwing up some short
Yeah,
guards.
this looked like a pick, though.
Of course, a lot of our viewers will now say, isn't that rock out? It's not over the hog line. But it did make contact with... oh, Mark is animated this morning. Mind you, like I said, I don't know him too well. Maybe he's always like that.
I obviously can't hear him as well as you can because I'm not...
I'm just hoping the spectators can't hear him as well as I do.
Ja, men heller spille pil. Pil? Du er heller pil enn 11. Jeg tror du går like rett omtrent, så mindre, tror jeg.
Tynn hall.
Ja, der ja.
So that guard a little bit over curled, and they wanted that to come out, rest in front of the stones in the house,
Yep.
probably around the edge of the 4-foot track. Now,
Here's that double.
good looking shot
And it
and
rolls up
rolled up
nicely
the
too,
sheet.
right? So a big change here. Dacey sitting in control of that end. All of a sudden,
And Vic Router would have been amazed the fact that the rock was actually coming. Oh, he really not happy.
okay.
Always
Yikes.
enjoyable to hear Mr. Router describing some games and some shots. So now Mark, because of their last miss, will revert back to trying to clear everything.
Got one, got two. Did a pretty good job.
And there's still a rock not over the hog line.
That one didn't pick.
I guess you can hear him now.
Akkurat den innsida der, en treer. Må henge på den. Ja, den.
Shot.
Er ikke den garden ligger
Should have
foran
swept it
hånd?
early. I wanted to make sure I made contact.
Ja, ja. Gjerne gå!
Til linje.
The problem with the way the guards were set up one shot ago is it was virtually impossible to get rid of everything and roll away. That was probably the best they could do.
Tre. Ja, ja, hjem innsida. Du må hjem innsida, gutter.
Yep. Holder.
Hjem innsida.
Bra.
Du må kjøre hjem innsida der.
Perfekt.
Real close.
Robbie hit it on to one of these.
Det må han nesten se.
Her kan vi koste...
Det er ikke vår jobb.
Han peker der, vi kan ikke gå noe tightere på den garden corner der. Jeg så langt fra corner.
Jeg gjorde bare for å få beskjed. Jeg trodde også vi skulle lose det. Yeah! Go! Whoa! Up! Up! Yeah, boy. Beauty.
Good looking shot. Of course, Team Ulsrud couldn't cover everything, but they did the best they could, and
Retningseksperten.
Her køler litt mer, den steinen her.
Team Dacey was able
Den steinen
to
her køler litt mer.
get
Eller
one
sett
of
på
the
litt mer
stones
rot, da. Du må henge, kan ikke...
in the 4-foot out and remove one of the guards.
97.
You know, having Ulsrud steal one is not disastrous, but
Litt løsere.
psychologically, if he was to steal two,
Når vi kan.
it's a different story.
Vente, vente.
Ganske lik.
Vente.
Wow!
Når vi kan.
Ja, helt ned til samme sted. Kanskje glir inn til og med. Tror du glir inn?
Fire. Rent og død.
3-4.
Ok. Det er egentlig ganske bra, da.
Må stjæle på en avstand.
Jeg må sette den for dem litt opp der, ser jeg. Det kiler den corneren.
Get away!
See half of that rock. Probably hit it. Roll over. Gotta watch you don't jam on that back red one. Dacey doesn't mind losing that back red one though. Tom Sullivan.
So even with the miss, the earlier miss,
Whoa!
Mark is able to
Whoa!
Heavy hat!
Whoa!
Heavy hat!
build something a little bit here. If he can hit the top one here, roll over to the side of the sheet.
Right over. I got it.
Good control.
Mhm.
Nicely played.
So
So
now-
yeah, don't need to throw that big weight all the time. Good controlled weight, good sweeping, good judgment.
Kommer dere å være litt høyere hvis du vil, da?
Nicely behind the guard now. Ulsrud really has to be careful.
Viktigste er å garde.
Be a quick
So
end
it's,
here all of a sudden.
What I was going to mention was, you know, before he was lying too buried, and now Dacey's second and third shot. And that yellow rock's starting to look quite lonely.
Hva har Torge spilt da? Hva vil dere?
Torge har spilt 90-tallet.
90? Spiller 90 også da?
Garde som han spiller 4 blank i hvert fall.
Ja, 4 blank.
You have any questions, comments? Send us an email, live@curlingchampionstour.org. Be happy to hear from you.
Litt løsere enn din. Når vi kan.
Wherever
Linja er
you're
bra.
viewing in the world. Live@curlingchampionstour.org, presented by Ace King.
Å, vi køller over, vi køller over.
Wow!
As soon as
Å, kostene nede.
Wow!
Kostene
as soon
nede.
as this end is over, I think we'll take a walk across the other sheets.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Some developments there happening.
A bit better guard there from Ulsrud.
And there we're talking about also when you're throwing up a guard, you know, you can't guard everything perfectly, so you always try to guard at least the correct side.
Dacey's got a good chance here drawing behind it, though.
Mhm.
Ulsrud will never get at it.
Top button.
But we haven't used this side of the sheet too much. We saw Harvard come up short with his guard,
Something like that.
so weight could be a little bit tricky out here. Mark Dacey for the Mayflower Clearing Club in Halifax, Nova Scotia.
So questions and comments live at curlingchampionstour.org.
Hard.
Brought
Needs
to
a
you
weight.
by
Hard! Needs some weight! Hard!
Weight's good!
Whoa, 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 whoa! Whoa!
It's looking pretty good here. Sweepers will drag that in.
Go, go, go! Go, go! Go, go,
Did it
go!
by
Behind
that
that
last
yellow
one?
one.
Nice sweep.
No,
Just comes
just
up short.
rubbed.
Nice sweep. I know
I
it.
think he's still shot, but would have liked to have gotten in behind it.
Ja, ser du nok til å spille den?
Nei, jeg gjør ikke det.
He's fully covered.
Tror du ikke?
No, that grab. No. Doesn't spin towards
Den her, hvis du gjør den der, så
Det blir ikke bra.
Ikke så lett å dra rundt heller.
Team Ulsrud
du må kanskje gjøre det likevel.
this year going to Gold Line as sponsor.
Spiller hardt
Always
nok da,
good
til
to
at
give
den
some of these
røde
teams a
der,
plug.
sitter to. Nei, som spiller vant da, for å få til det.
Det er jævlig vanskelig.
Ja, det ser jævlig vanskelig ut. Det er nesten lettere å gå her, altså.
Nå spiller vi dreining rundt eller myke runbacken.
Du drar rundt helt hit, da.
So Ulsrud here debating because he only has the one stone in the house.
Spiller den her for å skli av sitte to.
Ja, du ser det og sånn.
Ja, ja.
Skal vi ta time out?
Doesn't really want to set up a double anywhere.
Spille den.
Jeg synes det
He
er sånn-
would like to get
Du kan jo få unna egen.
a point.
Nei, men du, ja.
Of course, if he gets in behind those two stones in the top 8 foot, might be a little difficult for Dacey to remove it.
Så i hvert fall en tredel.
So if he can remove one of the
Se kjapt mye, se,
Canadian counters and roll for shot,
Det er noe sånt.
that would be bonus.
Ja, da er det mer enn nok. Spillen med vant. Hvis den køler opp, så må vi få den via den andre og bare få prøve å sitte
15-ish, og så prøve å få nedsida da. Det er ganske digg. Det er et stykke fra garden og ned. Hurry.
Det er så mye, Torger.
So I think they're looking at hitting
Ja, men er det for mye med 15?
the Dacey stone in the top 12
Vi må spille 15, da. Så vi har den optionen der.
and rolling in toward the two counters in the top 8. But either hitting the backside, it's all going to be a question of how much weight he's throwing. He's taking a fair bit of ice, so
I think he could actually get to the red one direct for the out turn. Push it out the back of the rings. They cover that 4 foot
En
for the
tredjedel, da,
draw.
med vant.
Certainly curls enough. You just need to hit half of that rock,
På nedsida.
3/4 of that rock, and roll over a little bit.
Rulle inn bak
Ja,
igjen.
ruller inn bak deg.
Spiger i garden.
Stay there. You don't want to
Jeg
set
vet
up a
det. Ja, ja,
double
den
though.
er ikke i spill, for å si det sånn. Garden er
See
ikke
the
i spill.
danger of that out turn shot.
Hva er det vi spiller på? Rulle?
we saw the Ulsrud front end pointing out that if they do roll enough, they could nestle right beside it. Could be a little dangerous. So
And
I think it's all going to be a question of his weight here. I'm guessing we're throwing like a hack to board.
Mann ned! Hardt!
He wants to get a steeper roll.
Hardere! Hardere!
pass that guard.
Still wants to. Nope.
I don't know if he's,
I tried.
No, that's it's not too dangerous.
no, that's free draw for 2.
Yeah.
Needed to be shot out of that.
Faen. Kuk.
Og så tror jeg det er ganske mye tynnere, faktisk.
Hæ?
Jeg tror det er ganske mye tynnere.
Dacey being able to take takes a little more ice. We'll change the line.
So all he needs is a piece of the 4 foot and
Fair bit wider. I'm thinking
get
I
his
need a
2
little more
back
weight.
and take a bit of a lead.
Yeah, it won't hurt. I mean, you can be right on.
Don't ever worry about line coming in. Just sweep it deep. Probably sweep just to be like as if you're back.
And with 2 ends left, 3-point lead is it's not insurmountable, but
Mark Dacey, last rock in this 6th end, trying to score 2. Up turn draw to the 4 foot.
It's a little extra length.
Fairly new ice out here. Haven't played too much, so the sweepers will be watching that
Wait,
weight.
over there.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
So you heard Mark as soon as he released the stone that said he threw a little less. It was probably a little less, but
Looking pretty good.
looks great.
Great shot here. So, 2 for Halifax team. Mark Dacey taking a 5-3 lead over the Norwegians here in the quarterfinal.
That'll be
Swisscup Basel.
6-3 lead.
6-3, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, take a 3-point lead with 2 ends left. I don't think Mark will be fooling around too much. So if we can take a walk across the other sheets, we know Mikael stole 4 in the 4th to take an 8-0 lead, and
There we go. We'll start on sheet 1 here. 2 threes from Lang. Story of this game. 6-4 lead over the Hamburg team of Johnny Yar, minus Johnny Yar, who's not here. We see Sven Goldeman in the house there. Andreas Lang in the background.
Mine's good.
Two German teams. Oscar Eriksson against Mario Freiberger. Eriksson commanding lead, 7-3 here in the 6th
Real hard now.
for the young Swiss team. And Michael Dufort game over fairly quickly with an 8-0 score for Sven Michel. There we go. Michel looking very strong.
Hard.
he had a good run last season also.
Kom igjen, hard.
One of those teams that just went into all the tournaments, and you knew he was going to be there in the end somewhere.
Hey, Robbie.
Qualified through the A. They haven't lost a game yet.
Didn't fare quite as well as at the Europeans, but, you know,
First time.
first time out.
You just can't buy experience, can
No.
you? It takes time. Big factor in curling. Experience. We talked about this yesterday.
Mhm.
Hear you.
We
Young
call
and
it
talented.
Med en gang.
we call it the elevators meeting, the elevator of experience and the elevator of youth. And if you can get those to meet as quickly as possible, then you know, guys like good example of that for me is John Morris. I watched that guy grow up, and coming out of juniors, of course, being coached by his father,
Earl Morris.
Earl Morris. And he had a maturity level, you know, much like a Rachel Holman. You know, all these kids that are mature at a very young age and really intelligent, and of course they curl a lot. So
Whoa, off, off, off.
Noses that.
Fucking let go of it.
Does leave a corner guard for Ulsrud. Ulsrud desperately needing at least 2 here.
I couldn't let go of that rock.
Til linje.
Yeah, Canada is a great example of what experience does
Torger nærmest hvis dere må
for
gå.
you when you look at all the young kids that are playing, but you look at the top teams, and who are they?
Ja, vi må
You
gå
know,
nå. Må gå nå.
Howards
Hard,
and
hard, hard,
Stoughton
hard.
and
Hard,
Martins.
hard. Kom igjen, hard. Hard.
I mean, we remember John Morris dominating juniors,
Same one, Mark.
2
Not in.
World Junior titles in a row.
Huh?
Same one.
And then when he graduated out of juniors, he struggled.
They did go to the Briar.
He did go to the Briar, but you know, wasn't easy pickings for him.
You might bump it in. That's
Getting
the only
a
thing.
little
You might bump it in. Maybe play
frustrated
this way.
at times, and
That's really skinny.
then he teamed
Play
up
it
with
this way and it goes over the top and just
the old
touches
Bear.
it.
She's gonna be. You're going to have enough speed off that, though.
As long as it hits it good.
You know, watching Worthman
What do you like?
yesterday, and of course he had Kevin Martin as his idol,
I mean, they're going to...
so he kind of went out and copied him a little bit, and got
Go
three
around
young
that and be
guys,
double
and
guarded.
a little bit younger than Morrison, Hebert, and Kennedy.
He wants to skip it, but not a lot of time.
And
Time
there's
out.
one pretty well the oldest guy still.
Timeout.
We got timeout.
We have a timeout.
We do have clocks on in this quarterfinals.
Mm-hmm.
So
No timeout.
There's
They
no
said there was one
timeout.
timeout during the game. Did they say there was a timeout?
I know.
We pay extra.
I don't think there's a timeout.
Thomas Ulsrud pleading innocence.
Alfred!
I don't
Can we
know,
have
he
a timeout?
says.
Vito!
There are no timeouts in this.
I would
They
say
told us there
no.
was one timeout. He gets to draw around the double guard then.
Not quite sure
Yes,
if there's a
there are
timeout. I don't think there is.
You angle it in?
For one timeout?
Any questions? Live at curlingchampionstour.org.
Yeah, well, we're trying to take it.
I don't think there is one. Mark, you're just under a time clock here.
Good thing they gave us a timeout.
That was great. Coach interaction.
So you're trying to clear this one off and take a yellow one with him. You can.
Right up!
Got one rolling over.
Keep going.
Just trying to remove his own now. Didn't quite accomplish what he wanted.
Yes.
Jeg tror at når det kom så langt ut at det var mer brems også.
You said you like it when it's silent, when he lets it go. There wasn't much silence, sir.
Dacey is still chatting. Trying to find that rule, but I thought I had seen something about times.
Da kan dere bare la han kutte i så fall.
We have
Bare la han
time
kutte,
clocks on right now
la han kutte.
for the playoffs.
Torgeir, vi må gå dypt. Vi må gå dypt.
We have had 3-hour games this weekend.
Kom igjen, gå dypt. Det er aldri gjennom. Kom igjen!
Nå!
Kom igjen, da!
Kjør nå, nå går det
It's
tidligere.
frustrating for the ice crew trying to get their job done.
Litt til, litt til.
Tons of time.
So Ulsrud gets his shot in there.
Like heavy hack?
Når dere spiller ned der, spiller det 90, eller den siste gangen.
Dacey will try and remove that yellow counter out of the house.
Heavy hack.
Yeah! Whoa! Yeah! Whoa! Whoa!
Heavy hack meaning the weight of the rock that he wanted.
Close. Yep! Hard!
Little curl up
Hard!
at the
Right
end.
up, right up. I got it.
Looking pretty good. Nice shot.
Whoa. Pistol.
Control.
Faen, så de hackfortene her køler mer enn bra.
And Mark Dacey happy with that one too. Ulsrud now having to take a run at this shot rock in a 4-foot.
Okay.
You're still looking
one of
for
those
that
people is our
timeout,
coach.
Dan?
Yeah.
I don't think there is a timeout.
Okay.
Yep.
Robert!
There are timeouts in
Whoa, whoa.
world competition.
Whoa. Yep.
Well, the only thing I found is the last line, which reads, "The tournament is played according to the rules of the Swiss Curling Association,"
Nei, så attpåtil du ser tighter,
of
så er det
which
derfor
I
jeg sier
know
ja.
on probably one of the pages it says
good
no
movement on this
timeouts
turn.
for Mark Dacey.
Yeah.
Well, Swiss Curling Federation rules means WCF rules, but
Yep. Go hard.
that's not referring to
Whoa.
the.
Whoa.
We don't have time clocks throughout the competition until it's quarterfinals, semifinals, finals. It's just to keep the games going today,
Okay. I was just being cautious.
making sure we get our games in on time for the coverage.
Sorry, Tom. Cautious.
Dra litt mer.
Well, you've had a
Obviously,
couple
with
of
Det er samme
32
Svalbard.
teams and
Ha god
I
klaring.
don't know, 90-some draws in a weekend, it's hard to get enough people to work the time clocks.
Fin linje.
Oh, for the games in A, B, C, D, no timeouts are allowed.
So you can read that both ways.
That doesn't refer to the playoffs, does it?
Doesn't refer to the playoffs, but it could refer to the fact that maybe in the playoffs there are timeouts.
I'm sure they'll clarify that rule
Yeah,
for the next
we'll
competition.
try and get that to you for the next broadcast. Could probably just do a small, short interview with Mark, assuming.
Put that question to Guido Cacivio. He's our
Higher.
chief umpire here and draw master.
Top 8. 80.
So Dacey sitting one in the back of the 8 foot. We'll just draw to the house. We'll try and force Ulsrud to take one in this end. And then go into the 8th end with a 2-point lead and the hammer. Doesn't get much more comfortable than that.
Where do you want it?
Top 8. Whoa, guys. Top 8. Just top 8.
Ulsrud's team been struggling all game.
Whoa.
Wrecking on guards
Easy.
quite often.
Whoa.
Not getting those rocks into position like Dacey
Get ready
has
to go.
been.
Whoa. Stay in front of the tee.
This is looking pretty good.
And there we heard something I don't like to hear normally, but with a veteran player, a veteran team, you can usually get away with it. You heard the sweeper asking the skip what he wanted as he was throwing. So you're sliding out of the hack, throwing the stone, and your sweeper's going, "What did you want?"
Well, I think the situation was pretty obvious.
Yeah.
Anywhere in the house and not behind the tee.
Really, really important to make sure everybody knows what's going on before you throw the stone. So as you said, the play here will be to force Ulsrud to take his 1 point.
Ulsrud,
Bra fart! Ja! Whoa! Bra fart!
Funny because the ice they were taking was for both shots.
Ja!
looks like he's going to draw here. So
Yeah, maybe the freeze to the back
draw
one.
into the back one. No,
No,
hit and roll.
Nice shot.
or as the old Scots would say, chap and lie.
Didn't
that
roll
one.
quite enough for Ulsrud. This is a fairly simple shot for. Although he hits it on a nose here, Ulsrud may have a double opportunity. Score 2. Dacey will be happy to roll to the left a little. Make sure that double's not there. Without rolling too far. Mark Dacey, last shot here in the 7th end. Norwegian team with the hammer.
Really hard, guys! Real hard!
Working this hard, he doesn't want to overcurl and jam on the back. Takes it out cleanly, but we do see a double opportunity here.
Litt over nesa, 11.
Thomas Ulsrud
Low side.
wants to hit this just inside off the center. Just enough to take that back red one out also. And they do have a little counter on the back 12 foot.
So they have given Mr. Ulsrud an opportunity.
Whoa, whoa.
Sweeper's not putting a broom to it. pretty good. Oh, just missed it. So, score 1 for the Norwegians. Just need to curl a bit. Would have had his double. And it's now 6-4. If we can go quickly through the scores of the other games.
They never told us that we needed a coach for a timeout, so we spent about a minute and a half trying to call a timeout.
So we just got a clarification there a little bit.
Out of time. I don't think that's fair.
It's like you know
Because we weren't told that.
I'm watching some
All we
of
were
the
told
time
was there was a
clocks.
timeout, that's it.
And Mark just made a comment
I don't think it'll be
saying
a
that if you don't have a coach, you don't get your timeout.
Well, quickly the score here. The Hamburg team steals 1 the 7th to make this a little bit closer game. 6-5 for the Füssen team. Andreas Lang.
60 minutes, or 59 minutes,
Eriksson still holding on to a 7-5 lead with the hammer. Two-point lead with the hammer here in the last end against Mario Freiberger of Zug, Switzerland. That's our game. Dacey in control, 2-point lead with the hammer in the 8th, and that game was over pretty quick. Sven Michel of Switzerland, Adel Boden against Thomas Dufour from Chamonix, I believe.
Chamonix Mont Blanc.
Yeah. Mont Blanc, the highest mountain in Europe. So it'll be Freiberger, or Sven Michel will be playing, waiting to see who wins the game between the two Germans. And Dacey, Norway, will probably be going against Eriksson or Switzerland, Freiberger.
So I would venture to say that given the information that we have now, should Dacey move on, he'll be looking for a coach after this game. Just so he can call his timeout. So if anybody's interested, just come on down and you can be an honorary coach for 1 or 2 games.
Was that the call? I didn't quite hear it. You have to have a coach to call a timeout?
Oh, that's what Mark was mentioning to, I believe he was talking to his vice skip. And he said, I didn't know we had to have a coach to call the timeout.
Okay.
So
we'll clarify that after that. We'll try and get the answers
for the next draw.
Semifinals, for the draw.
So now, Ulsrud getting his 2 corner guards up. Dacey being up by 2 with the hammer, with last stone advantage. Doesn't really want to try any soft peels with rocks that are that far off center line. Now he'll start to peel them.
Could be double both of these guards out.
Mm-hmm.
They're set up nicely. Norwegian placement wasn't that good.
So the whole idea here is for Dacey is to...
Got 1. Got 2.
There's 2, but he left. As I said earlier, it's not what you make, it's what you leave. The only advantage is it's his stone.
Yep.
The red rock. So Ulsrud will be trying to use everything he has in play, and Dacey will be trying to keep the 4-foot open.
Stealing 2 is difficult.
Well, especially when you're playing to the wings, but I think the idea there was to position the corner guards such that not only are you getting a corner guard out of it, but you're blocking off the path to the 4-foot on the in-turn and out-turn draws.
Dacey can now play a peel on this from the outside. Maybe take that yellow one that's in the house with it.
Again, trying to make 2 with 1.
Burgess, left-hand thrower.
Close.
A little bit of a push and a
never.
shove there.
Jeez.
Just gets it.
Yeah.
Good try.
You go over the top of that.
Dacey breathing a sigh of relief.
You go over the top of that. Litt mer nå, kølle bra.
So as we're coming down to the closing stages of this game, I think 11 o'clock is the semifinal game. And we'll be showing you that live here from the Swisscup in Basel. And that game will be, I believe, Sven Michel against the winners of one of the German games. Or the German game, I guess. Johnny Yar's team from Hamburg. Or Andreas Lang from Füssen. Füssen obviously made famous by the Kapp brothers.
So the official game time is 11:15, but if you want to warm up your lazy boy, get some hot coffee and Bailey's going,
Boy.
and get ready
And it gets a
for the
doubles.
broadcast.
Doubles out the 2 Norwegian rocks.
Maybe for the next game we'll get some telestrator action going. I know Al was saying that he was a telestrator virgin yesterday.
I don't know. I think it was that second glass of wine that
Yeah.
made those lines a little squiggly.
Til linje, plass. Plass. Plass, kjempeplass. Står det plukk. Kjempeplass. Ja, går litt på slutten nå, da.
Either one.
Any questions, comments?
Hard.
Send them to us here at livecurlingchampionstour.org. Any information you want to pass on, we'll be happy to do that.
I can cover the French and the English, and you can cover the Swiss German and whatever else you've got in your head.
That's about it.
That's about it. Not even going to touch the English side, eh?
Oh, no, the English side, obviously, that's pretty easy. My French is not...
So live at
Not so good.
curlingchampionstour.org. Brought to you by Ice King. Yeah, me being from the French-Canadian side of Canada.
That would be nice to hear from that part of the country.
Yeah.
I haven't heard too much from them.
Well, I'm planning
How's
on...
curling in Quebec looking nowadays?
It's...
Ulsrud sitting 2 here.
They're going through some changes. Finally, after many, many years at Curling Quebec. First, Benoit Cyr, who was there for quite a long time, had moved on. And
Do you want to take a little more ice?
Marco Bertolo, who was the Director General, has finally found a new job somewhere else. I can't recall exactly where, but it is in the sports field. And
just to interrupt you here, sorry, we're down the last rock here. First rock of
Rain's good.
Dacey. He removes this
and
counter.
that's
Ja, kølle mer.
So Thomas Ulsrud will be trying to figure out how to put this rock in here and steal 2.
I think his best bet would probably be to freeze to that back red and hope for a double jam, but I think Dacey would then throw the
Liten tapp, tror jeg. 11.
draw. So just quickly to tell you, the new boss, the new head of Curling Quebec is actually the inventor of the Marco hack.
All right.
Marco Ferraro is now the
Okay.
Director General, and this rock looks a little...
So, open hit. Dacey just needs to remove something. Doesn't he need to stick around?
He's going to have to be careful which turn he plays. Of course, he's going to play the out turn. Try to keep it on the high side.
And this will takes this shot. It'll put him through into the semifinal, and he'll be playing against the winner of the Eriksson-Freiberger game. That looking very much like Eriksson at the moment. We'll jump over to that game quickly as soon as this one's done. We can get back to the conversation about Quebec in the semifinal game. Mark Dacey, last rock here in the quarterfinals against the European champion, Thomas Ulsrud.
And for good measure, probably going to make the double. No,
Oh, he rolls out, gives up a steal of one, but it wasn't enough.
not enough.
The score of 6-5. Dacey qualifies for the semifinals here in Basel, Swisscup.
I'll give to you since you brought over the brew.